Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Himanshu Chauhan, Assistant Secretary General of Hotel and Restaurants Association Western India. Welcomes you all on the seminar for Life, Property and Environment Safety for Hospitality Industry. May I now request, before we start the seminar, may I now request everyone to stand for National Anthem, please. Thank you.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you so much, everyone. To begin the seminar, can I request Mr. Kunal Gujral to please come on the dais, our Secretary General Kunal Gujral to please come on the dais. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to everyone. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all government dignitaries, special invitees, the guest of honor, welcome keynote addressee, welcome keynote speaker, eminent panelists, our event partners, Prama Hikvision, Saint-Gobain, and Orient Fire Curtains, our executive committee members and office bearers. Thank you for taking out time of your busy schedule to attend this seminar and gracing it with your presence. Also, I would like to extend my special thanks to Mr. Hemant Khatse, CEO East Corp Group, Mr. Gurbir Bedi, our executive committee member and chairman of seminars and business session, Mr. Sandeep Talolikar, executive committee member, HRWI, and the managing director of Jacksonville Fulton, Maharashtra, and of course my office team for strategically planning this wonderful seminar. Now I request Mr. Bedi to kindly come towards the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Gujral. Very good afternoon to all the dignitaries, guests of honor, speakers, our fellow members, and all of you present today. I'm honored as the chairman of the Seminars and Business Session Committee to have organized, along with my very supportive committee members, and this wonderful seminar on life, property, and environment safety for hospitality industry. We sincerely hope that all of you present here today will take some valuable inputs and share it with your team members and pass on this benefit to your organization in the near future. I would like to invite on stage the chief guest, Mr. Santosh Warik, the fire advisor and Maharashtra Fire Services. Our guest of honor, Mr. Gurmeet Singh Arora, the National Chairman, IGBC, and Managing Director of Rajco Group. Our keynote speaker, Architect Anuja Sawant, the Principal SSA Architects, Mumbai, IGBC, AP, Lead AP, and Well EP. Our HRWI President, Mr. Pradeep Shetty, and Mr. Hemant Khatse, the CEO, East Corp Group. Also, may I request all our panelists, if they can come as I call out their names, because we'll be lighting the lamp after that. Mr. Sandeep Talalikar, the Managing Director, Jackson Inns, Faltan, Maharashtra. Mr. Prem Thakur, Director of Engineering Services, Taj Hotels. Mr. Mihir Sangvi, Rata National President, past President, ISHRE, Mumbai, and current National Membership Chairman of ISHRE. Mr. Rupesh Umthol, Electromech Consultants, FSSAI, Mumbai President, ASHRE, Mumbai, IPP. Kindly, we can begin the lighting of the lamp. I request the President, Mr. Pradeep Shetty, President of HRAWI, to kindly say a few words and welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. It's an honor and privilege to stand in front of all of you to extend my warm welcome to all the dignitaries who have spared their valuable time to come here and share knowledge with us, and to all the participants who've braved this weather and rains, and the few who have not been able to come, maybe they're on the way. This is an initiative by the association. HRAWI, as you know, is a 70-year-old association and is one of the arms of the Federation of Hotels and Restaurant Association in India. And the HRAWI spans across 5 states in the Western India over here. And we spearhead all policy advocacy with the state governments as well as with the central governments, and in imparting education and knowledge through such seminars and events to our members. Hospitality, if we say, is one of that industries which in the true sense, uh, delivers joy, peace, comfort to most. If it is anybody from this population, if it's a corporate who at the end of the day wants to have a peaceful time at a restaurant, or a family who wants to have a vacation, and we are a part of every individual in this population who looks for a peaceful and happy time with the family or with friends, and therefore it becomes one of our paramount responsibilities and a commitment to ensure that we create a safe environment, an environment which is appreciated, an environment whereby your guests, your people, all of them feel safe. And in that context, I would like to say, um, um, to bring more context to this event, the five assets that are so pivotal in what we do. First of that being our own businesses, which is our livelihood. You have to make it safe. You have to how to make it safe, and what more can we do is what we'd probably learn. Is about our guests, one of our another valuable assets. And I mean, if your guests are with you and they are happy with you consistently across a restaurant or a hotel that you operate, and that ensures that your business will thrive. Then it is your own property, a property which has to be safer, it has to be safest. You have to do continuous efforts to ensure that the environment and the property remain safe, and the guests who come there feel safe at all times, safe in many ways. The other asset, most important, is your workforce, is the people who are with you. You need to create an environment where they are working in a safe environment and they are adequately informed and educated about safety that is required to be maintained. And I think lastly and most importantly, our surrounding, the environment, more and more becoming important now, to ensure how do we operate in a sustainable manner, how do we reduce waste, how do we work within the parameters of the sustainable goals that we set for ourselves, and most importantly for our future generation. I think in that context, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the speakers. My heartfelt gratitude to all of them who have agreed to be a part of this event. I hope this event will be memorable in many ways. It will take back, and it also marks a beginning of a collaboration with the IGBC and various other experts from whom we, as an industry and the association, we endeavor to develop a long-standing relation, as well as so much of learning that would come with you. All at the end of, the gain is that of safety. And finally, I would like to say safety in the widest sense would mean happiness, would mean contentment and freedom to all mankind. I think that's the goal we'd like to achieve. Thank you. Thank you.
May I call up Mr. Khatse to kindly felicitate Mr. Shetty? Aye, sir, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Khatse. Now I invite our event partner, Prama Hikvision, to kindly come to the dais and present. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kunal Dharawat. I represent Prama Hikvision over here. I'll just go through the requirements and security per se, what we focus on the hospitality industry, the trends in the industry, what we have seen over the past few years. Yeah. So what we have seen over the past few years in terms of understanding how a guest interacts when he enters the, what we say, the property as such. So we'll go forward with that. First, what happens when the security per se, they first look at the UVSS and the boom barriers. Can you go? Yeah. So from the security perspective, when the vehicle enters, and with the guest, they go through the security parameters with the under vehicle scanning system and the boom barriers for the thorough check on the security per se. So that's how the security system looks as such. Is it visible to all? Excuse me, sorry. So that's what the product looks like. Then comes the major part of it where you need to recognize the system completely in terms of understanding what the vehicle is with the number plates and the guest recognition also with their facial recognition. So that would be vehicle management solutions. Then more to do with So going forward, it would be more about the luggage which has been scanned for understanding any threats to the property as such, where we have the baggage control and inspection products. And most importantly, these days, the trends are more on facial analytics of the guest. That is understanding who the guest is, what are their requirements, what are their normal, what we say, purposes for visiting the hotel. Maybe it was business or maybe it is a holiday pleasure trip. That's what it is. And importantly, getting to know who are all your employees also with the entrance control. Then also today most of the hotels provide in-coach services to all their guests in terms of the complete solution from traveling one location to another. So we can map that also with understanding on surveillance. You have GPS also on the tracking, alarm locations if there is an accident to the coach as such, and also real-time analysis and alerts available. And this is again a new trend what we have seen. Today, most of your conference halls like this one or a banquet hall, you need to know what are the total number of people available at the moment, as well as total people who can be evacuated in terms of a security scenario. And with this new generation, the complete broadcasting solution, like you can live feed whatever events that are happening in the hotel. So we have that solution available with us. That is a celebration through a broadcasting solution. And this is one more trend that nearing alarm solutions, which could be nearing your swimming pool or any of your banquets where you put an alarm switch or a panic switch. That is another trend that has come up in the recent years. So why Hikvision? Why Hikvision and why it would be the right partner for you all for your security solutions? Importantly, we are number one worldwide in terms of manufacturing of surveillance cameras and a solutions providers to all your requirements for security. We have more than 16,000 employees in R&D sector, and we invest about 15 to 18% of our revenues back into R&D to produce new technologies as per your requirement. Customize the solutions as what you want. About Hikvision India, so we have more than 51 branches. It's a joint venture between Prama India and Hikvision, and we have been in India for more than 15 years now. And we have been more than 15 years in India with more than 51 branches in India, more than 4,000 employees with one factory premises, which is part of Make in India again, where we employ more than 2,000 employees again. So this is the part of Make in India. If you can see, We have a manufacturing setup right here in Mumbai, in Vasai, with a 9 lakh square feet factory, producing more than 8 lakh cameras per month. And more than 30% capacity is on growth every year. So that's what we have taken care for future requirements also. And all the manufacturing unit is certified ISO 9001, 14001 certified. Plus, we have local service operations available across all our 34 branches and wherever your remote location properties are. That is, we also have global factories, one in India, one in Brazil, 9 regionals and local call centers for your 24/7 operations, that anytime you have a challenge, you can address it and call up our service center. We also have authorized service centers through our partners also, who can help you out at any given point of time, who can help you out in both supply as well as the installation and maintenance of your products. So just a small roundup of why Hikvision. We give you the best of quality that is possible. We are the largest manufacturers of cameras in India as well as globally, and the advantages of Make in India. We have a 2,000 plus employee base, both in sales as well as in the factory premises. We have Pan-India branch offices of more than 34 locations. Pan-India RMS service centers, that is about 21 locations again, to support you in your service problems. And manufacturing facility which is available as per the request, where you can have a bulk thing, we can work on that also. Any challenges on the cyber security, we have taken care, where we have done third-party audits through Cisco and Ernst & Young also, so there is not a challenge on that part also. The quality control in terms of, as I mentioned previously, all the products are UL, CE, FCC, RCC certified, and that can be taken care again. On the global front, we are present in more than 46 countries globally, and turnover of more than 16 billion, based and headquartered in China. These are our core businesses. What we do basically, that is the front-end devices of your network, that is CCTV, which is a device, then transmission, that is the network, right from switches to storage, and analysis on the platform also. Again, the other parts of the whole system, network architecture, that is displays that you are seeing at the moment, mobiles and transportation, as I mentioned, on the shuttle coach solution, intrusion systems, video intercom, which is a developing market again in terms of real estate boom in India. So that is a high percentage of our business growth today. And access control, that is part of entrance control, right from your baggage scanners, flap barriers, then you have tripod turnstiles. So we can take care of that complete solution in one go. So basically, right from moving on from a CCTV and a security company, we want to move on to be a solutions company to cater to all your needs for your solutions in terms of security. And these are some of the new products that we have launched, that is under vehicle scanning systems, DFMD, HHMDs and baggage scanners. These are per se mostly required in all your hotels and properties where government norms require it, for more than 4-star properties to have UVSS and baggage scanners. And these are some of the innovative solutions that we have done, keeping the customization in request, that is packet tracking, that is majorly into retail segment, time-lapse solutions where you can see for a real estate boom, body-worn cameras, which will be again required for all your security personnel in your property. They can be using it, and nameplate cameras for all your in-house service providers who could look at it. And these are just some of the references for us and many more. So I think I completed in time, I guess. That should be it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kunal, for the presentation. Now I call upon Mr. Hemant Khadseji once again to kindly come to this DS and for his interactive speech on egress for life safety in hotels. Mr. Khadse, for you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, now I can see that. Okay. May I request all the back benches to come little forward so that I can see that hall is full? Yeah. So thank you so much. There are a lot of empty seats. First of all, my gratitude and thank you so much, Sandeep ji and entire HRA team, very passionate team for hosting this such a nice event. Love and affection, sir. He's so passionate about doing this event, and I was just sitting during the lunch with him, and he said I was actually looking at this event since last 3 years. So I'm sure we are all part of his dream come true today. So thank you, Sandeep ji, again for hosting such a nice event. I think all kudos goes to him. So specifically, when we talk about this event, the topic or title of this event is all about life safety, environment, and property protection. If you look at it at a broad level, it's all about safety. Because this HRA being a very old organization, having 4,000 members in specifically Western India, today the world is really moving in such a way that it becomes a lot of challenging. Challenging in terms of life safety, challenging in terms of property safety, and of course, nowadays in the buzz of ESG compliances or sustainability that we talk about, it has got a lot of inherent challenges in terms of environment as such. So this theme is really going to make sense to sit down and look at how we can move forward. The topic that I'm going to be sharing here on the information for next 30 minutes is purely focusing on life safety. There are experts who is going to touch upon the other two aspects. So when you talk about fire and life safety, it's an integrated word. When you talk about fire, it is aiming towards your life safety, towards your human safety. And when you read a lot of articles, videos, news channels, and see a lot of calamities and specifically human death pertaining due to the fire, it really pains. And at that time, we start thinking, and then maybe there are some LinkedIn articles, Facebook and newspaper media start blaming, this didn't work, that didn't work, this should have been the case, that should have been the case. Rather, we prepare ourselves proactively and see that how we can work for mitigating the risk. And today, I'm only emphasizing on one word called egress. That's a word that I'm talking about here, which is really going to make sense for everyone. And this doesn't need a technical expertise that you need to be an engineer or you need to be an architect or you need to be in fire fraternity. As an occupant, wherever you live, wherever you work, this actually word resonates with you. And this is a word that actually has going to have a lot of critical importance in your day-to-day life. I'll simplify this word. This technically means right now in your banquet room, if there is an alert immediately that you can hear from your fire alarm sounder, the immediate action that you need to do is egress in a very simple way. So for a lot of non-technical people out here, the first priority being an occupant, right now we are in a banquet sitting in and listening the program, but if calamity can happen, and it can happen anytime, it will not tell you that I'm going to come at 4:30, right? So if at all it happens, your first response should pay attention to the alarm that goes into the facility, wherever you are, and start saving your life, help others if you can, and leave the property. As simple as that. And that's all about egress. And if you look at the historical case studies that are happening in and around, the reason, of course, next day you will see in the newspaper it could be because of short circuit, because of electrical function failure and stuff like that. But the major cause of human death could be the safe and speedy egress that they could not do. And Kamala Mills fire is a live example that in 2016 we know, and many hotel fire, many incidences that you can see, people are trapped into the smoke. They are not able to evacuate the building that they are safely before it actually kills them. So this is what the essence of today's topic I wanted to bring upon, how we can contribute as an occupant and become part of the whole safety process by responding to the alerts that you get and ensuring that your safety is achieved for the life safety as such. So, I want to give you some little understanding about this topic technically also. I'm sure some people will be able to understand, but I'll make it simplify the aspect about evacuation. Now, if you look at it, when I mention about egress, it essentially means evacuation from wherever you are. And it has got specifically the element which basically called as a design principle. That means when the building is going to be designed and the compliance has been followed, it is always a case that it is always considered as a single fire scenario. So if at all there is a high-rise building or any kind of an banquet, it is expected that a fire occurs, then what? It may not happen for next 20 years, but if at all it happens, then what? That is what the design principle is all about. There is no assumption that is considered in any of the codes and standard that man-made fire, that means arson fire. So it's not something that code addressed. So it all depends on how prepared you are, how your SOPs are, how your evacuation planning are. And then it's very important, and some of you are probably aware about the word called compartmentation. This is what actually the principle called containing the fire into a specific zone. Depends on the codes, practices, you will have different areas, but essentially what is the spirit of compartmentation? If at all there is a fire at any point in time, it could be basement or it could be any floor, how effectively you confine that zone so that the rescue becomes easy, at the same time your evacuation becomes easy. So this is all about confinement and compartmentation, which is a very critical component of any building design. And then always you will see that most of the building today are actually designed with multiple exits, minimum 2. Earlier days we didn't have that kind of a flexibility or requirement coming from the code. In fact, there are DC rules are still sitting with 1 staircase, unfortunately, but we need to know that the necessity of a second alternate exit is basically if at all one exit becomes unsafe, then what? That's there is a criticality of second alternate staircase. And most important aspect, which is a travel distance, which I'll come back to you a little later. Now, if you look at it, fire specifically or fire life safety specifically is governed by specific codes and standards. It is not like if I tell you I am responsible for designing, I look at this way, somebody else will come, he said no, this way. So it has to be standardized, and that's the reason the codes and standard comes into play. In India, of course, National Building Code 2016 comes in play. Varik sir is sitting here, he is the chairman, he is driving the codes and standard, and that is the Bible for us. If you go to globally, National Fire Protection Association, NFPA 101 is again life safety standard. So likewise, there are many bases that you can take and design your systems. How do you plan your egress? So when you talk about the egress, it has got specifically 3 components. Imagine right now we are on a ground floor, but imagine right now we are on a 7th floor, on a banquet hall or in a conference room, sitting there in maybe numbers of 100. The moment you hear the fire alarm sound, the first action that I mentioned that you have to start evacuation. So from wherever you are sitting, you reach to a nearby fire exit. It's called exit access. So that's the first piece. The moment you see fire exit, you finish your first stage and you get into the fire exit mode. That means either it could be staircase or it could be horizontal staircase compartmented area, which is smoke protected, separated, segregated. You get into the staircase, you go into the ground floor as a final exit discharge. That's what it happens as the last piece, which is exit discharge. Now, specifically for a hotel building, you will see that because of the security reason, they don't have final exit discharge, which is here, as the outside the building. Now, code says very specifically that at least minimum 50% your final exit discharge should be terminating outside the building. Reason that once I get into the final exit discharge at this point, I will get into the another area which may not be safe. It could be lobby, atrium, or and so on and so forth. So what code says specifically that you should be out of the building the moment you complete your egress. So these are the 3 steps which needs to be understood by everyone. And I have a bad habit that if I get into any of the hotel, it could be any of the hotel, I have no hesitation asking where is your evacuation plan first. And secondly, I always peep into the staircases that they are accessible, available for your floors. And I do that practice every time. Many people have a very awkward position to reply to me, why this guy is asking me staircases on evacuation plan. But it's important that if you're staying in that property for one night even, anything can happen. So how are you being protected with that? Do you know the staircases which are going to be used during the fire emergency? So this is very, very important from a perspective. And the exit, when the people do that, it has to be always unobstructed, continuous, demarcated, with escape light, having adequate exit width. These are the criteria that are given in the codes and standard. It is not that you have a corridor available, but it is sitting with pots, it is sitting with a lot of obstructions, it is not illuminated. These are not something that code allows. So this is again something that you need to look at it. So this is a very simplified diagram that I wanted to give you. You are on the top floor, you start exit, start your exit access, get into the fire exit, start coming down, and then that's how exit discharge happens. So this is something that very, very important. It looks easy to see it, but practically you see on many hotels, the fire doors are locked. The exit staircases are locked because of so many reasons. So this is something that we need to be vigilant about it. Now when you come to the travel distance, what it means essentially that when you are trying to exit the building for a safe, for your safety, what's the path that you need to travel for? Is it something that unlimited or is it regulated? So answer is it's regulated by codes and standard. It varies, but it is regulated. So when you in India, if you follow NBC, it talks about 30 meter for a non-sprinkler, usually for most of the occupancy. If it is a sprinkler, it's 45 meter. For a service area, it goes to more than 65. But all here point I want to highlight here is that the travel distance must be seen, must be followed in every occupancy, which is going to be saving your life, because if you have a longer duration to pass over, then I'm sure you will have a lot of danger into it. You will not know whether the path that I'm going to be crossing through is safe or not. Is it smoke protected or not? So it's a regulated one. There is another term which is little complex to understand for some of you, but I'll make it again simple. Before travel distance, there is a term called common path. Now what it means that when you have a large hotel lobbies, from a room, guest room, you travel into the lobby, and then you have an option to go left or right, as we have means of egress which is more than 2 or 1. That is what the path where you will find 2 alternate exits is called common path. Again, in India, it's not so regulated. Internationally, from an NFPA point of view, it is still regulated because you cannot have longer common path. So look at the minute level of understanding the code gives you to implement. But how many people follow? That's a question to ask. The travel distance, as I mentioned to you, it is always taken from inside, not from outside. So if it is a guest room, it is always taken from inside because the egress process starts from a remote point. Till you find an exit, your travel distance is going to be the distance that has to be regulated. So there are, again, based on the occupancy, you need to define what's my doorway width, whether my exit width is adequate or not. At many hotels, we see that your exit width is just about 1 meter, not even 1.2 meter. At many cases, I have seen in many audits, it's just 0.9 meter because of the architectural consent. Maybe because architect is not aware that it has to be followed to the norms of 1.2 meter or 1.5 meter. So if your exit width itself is inadequate, imagine what will happen. There is a chaos. It is a delay in egress, and that's how you are putting into danger your life. Apart from the codes and standard, which is not given in the codes and standard, is your human behavior, human engineering. people will not behave just if you have a fire alarm system sophisticated. We have right now gentlemen sitting from JCI, manufacturer of fire alarm system. Doesn't mean that your sounder will be heard and responded by every occupants. I've seen a lot of videos on LinkedIn where airport has got a fire alarm and people are just watching like this. Yeah, nobody has that kind of awareness that this is a fire alarm, I need to do something. I need to rush, right? So what human engineering says that it is always human aided. That means people have to use either a PA system or direct them and see that they are evacuated. So there are a lot of factors involved in your safe, speedy evacuation. Even gender also matters. What role are you going to have? If you are an engineer, probably you must have attended some conference like this, you will be aware, right? But if people, there are many people who never know, who never have got an opportunity to attend a seminar like this, they have no role to play in safety. So how do you expect them? There are a lot of physical disability people. So human engineering also is actually going to pay a lot of impact on your safety. Architectural, your knowledge, your fire characteristics, what is burning, what's the occupant characteristics, whether it's a kid, old age people or mix, your condition of the time of the event. So there are many parameters. It could be false alarm also, but then we need to know what's the evacuation process to be followed. So if you look at it, code always gives you certain parameters to follow, but at the same time, there is a performance based also where you can actually do evaluation and find out what's the way to follow. How do you protect your life safety? So prescriptive and performance based are the two areas where people have a choice to follow and do the design. Performance based is something very complex, but just to give you idea, it has got a relevance where you can justify, even though my travel distance are longer, my smoke simulation is going to be in reasonable period. So that's how you are ensuring the egress and the smoke based on the perimetry of the building, based on the geometry of the building. So this is how the fire engineering actually comes in play. They take into the consideration what travel distance you are going to be followed and look at your RSET, that means required safe egress time and available safe egress time. So you validate your asset and RSET, do the fire engineering, and then come to a conclusion whether are you in a position to take your people out before the smoke settles to a 1.8 meter level. Because smoke is the main cause of the danger. People actually die out of smoke. So when you understand the behavior of the smoke and get into the level of control mechanism, either by mechanical or by natural ventilation, you can save a life. So that's how the hotel needs to be followed, the fire engineering, and in fact I can see that the awareness is really going higher. So this is how the smoke simulation actually works. Virtual simulation where the parameters, the geometry of the building is getting inserted, and you get to know exactly what's the level of smoke accumulation that gets happen, what's the time required to get to the level of 1.8 meter, which is tenability and visibility, and that's how you declare that this particular building, even though my travel distance is little longer, I am not compromising on my life safety. So this is what simple fire engineering is to be followed. So what I'm saying is here is that safety is everybody's responsibility. Even though you are sitting in any of the premises, maybe you have a sophisticated ERT team available, it's always and always your responsibility. And what is your responsibility? Not to use the extinguisher, not to use the hydrant and hose reel. Your responsibility is and only is evacuation. So if people are prepared, I'm sure we can save a lot of lives, we can help people to save a lot of lives. So that's what the bottom line of this particular seminar, even training and awareness, this is what we are doing, knowledge dissemination. So I again thank you HRAWI for organizing this event. In a way, it is going to help building safe and secure Bharat. So thank you. With this note, I am 1 minute less than what I've been assigned so that people can get more opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any questions, we can have it at the end of the seminar during lunch and, during the networking break. Thank you so much. Let me take the honors of inviting my mentor Santosh Warik sir, Maharashtra Fire Services Director and CFO of MRDC. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a real proud privilege to address this August gathering. Hotel industry is very crucial as far as tenancy is concerned. The occupants are not familiar with the floor plate and the exit routes. So that is a major challenge. And when we provide all details, when you enter any hotel room, you see the map of floor plate and you are in this particular room and where is your nearest exit available or staircase available. So these are the basic guidelines issued to the occupant of every room as such. But major challenge is when you are any multinational or any company is hiring your rooms or property, they see all these parameters, how you are maintaining your fire safety and whether you are compliant with the local rules and regulations. So that is a paramount importance. I heard that some of the multinational CEOs, they prefer to stay on the lower rise rooms. Instead of going at 30 floor or 45 floor hotel, if it is there, they used to have their rooms at lower level, maybe at second floor or third floor, so that in case of emergency, they can get out of the building with the minimum time. So major challenge is to increase the tenability of the occupant in that particular room, so that if it is a 45-story or 50-story building and having 500 or 600 rooms, it is not possible to evacuate entire hotel in a 5 minutes time. So we have to have the arrangement in place, ensuring that anything goes wrong, the fire will contain in that particular room itself, and whatever detection system is there, that will come in picture, come in operation, then sprinkler will activate, and it will contain that particular small fire in that particular room itself. It will not come out. So every room has got a fire door, minimum 20 minutes fire door we recommend, so that every all rooms are there, so that should be protected with 20 minutes fire door, and sprinklers and detection should be provided in the common passage and in every room, so that it will contain in that particular room itself, and you will get more time for evacuation. Also, it will help the firefighters to reach up to, we recommend that you should have your inbuilt team. You have various types of manpower. It is not limited to like hospitals. There is another challenge, but in hotel you have number of service people, security people. So they should be trained to guide the evacuation first and to do the firefighting. You should have both the teams simultaneously working to save the life of the occupants. So these are the challenges what we face when we are responding to any fire call. So normally we see the systems are not maintained properly and they are not in a good working condition. So it becomes very challenging after reaching there, make the system operational, and the response time is very important. That golden period is over if you take 15-20 minutes to reach up to the fire ground and then start your fire operation. So it is the responsibility right from the planning stage to the life cycle of the building to ensure that the minimum fire protection requirement provided as per the National Building Code Part 4, that is fire and life safety, and it should be maintained throughout the year 24/7 in the proper working condition, so that in real emergency it will come in action and it will save the precious human life and property. So as per the Maharashtra Fire Prevention and Life Safety Measures Act, so for all buildings, it is mandatory requirement to give the Form B, ensuring that whatever the systems you have provided in the building, they are in a good working condition in the month of January and July every year. So it is, you have to submit this Form B to the local fire authority. Mumbai has got it online also, so you can submit it online, or physically you can submit it to the local authority. So that is the ensuring. We are not requesting for the renewal of fire license or fire approvals as such, but this Form B is mandatory to be submitted to the local authority. So this will ensure that whatever the systems are provided in the particular building, they are maintained in the good working condition, and in real emergency they will come in action, and we can be in a position to save the precious human life and property. So that is my appeal to everyone, is wherever you are working or whatever you are doing, at your residence also try to have minimum one extinguisher in your flat, so that in case of emergency there are now handy 1 kg, 2 kg fire extinguishers are also available in the market, and you can utilize it in that immediately anything goes wrong, short circuit or maybe gas fire or small incidents, with that small extinguisher you will be in a position to control that fire, and that will avert the later on scenario that increasing that fire. So my appeal to you is safety should be inculcated in your culture itself, and start it from your home and wherever you work, so that we can make a safe envelope or a safe building for betterment. Thank you very much.
So may I request our President, Mr. Pradeep Shetty, to kindly felicitate Mr. Warik.
Let me take the honors of inviting Sri Gurmeet Singh Arora ji, National Chairman IGBC and Managing Director Rajco, is one of the veteran in the industry, very popular face in the industry, doesn't need more introduction. I request sir, please your wisdom words for the audience.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know, my ears are covered. Sardars have this disadvantage, they can't hear. We have two Sardis here. And my wife says I have selective hearing. So can I hear one big good afternoon from all of you? Great. Well, I belong to the Indian Green Building Council, a subsidiary center of excellence of the CII. And my friend Sandeep Tollalikar has planted this dream that hotels must all become green and we must have an MOU. And I'm going to tell you why. You know, there are 8 facets to wellness, ladies and gentlemen. There is social wellness, spiritual wellness, occupational wellness, physical wellness, emotional wellness, mental wellness, financial wellness. Can somebody tell me what the 8th facet of wellness is? Environmental wellness. Because without environment, all the other facets of wellness, all the quotients will fail. For example, if I have a home in Joshimath for the last 50 years, and of course it would not be insured, looking at the tier 2 or tier 3 city, and suddenly my home starts sinking, or I have a home in the forest in California which starts burning and my home gets burnt, what will I do? Where is my future? So it's very, very important that all of us team up from today onwards and protect the environment. Now, hotels, if you look at, are the highest energy guzzlers in the built environment, even more than residential and commercial industry. I used to stay at a hotel in Delhi, 5-star, I won't tell you the name. The carpet used to stink. It's a common thing in hotels. And the air conditioner, therefore, was on 24/7. Now in a business hotel, when I leave my room at 8, 9 or 10 in the morning and come back at 6, 7, 8 in the evening, why should my air conditioner be on for the 12 hours that I'm not there? Amazing. So, because when the guest comes into the room, he wants a cool room. He doesn't want to walk into a hot room or a warm room. Now, we started in 2001, the green building movement in our country, with a 20,000 square feet building costing 18% more. If you also look at hotels, I did not mention, after hospitals, they are the highest water consumers. And your country has 17% of the world's population, but only 4% of its fresh water. You have a very big problem on hand if you do not conserve, preserve, reuse, recycle, all the R's that we all talk about, but how many of us actually practice? India, in fact, is an economy which has a cradle-to-cradle approach where everything gets recycled. But in a hotel, everything has to be fresh, new, crisp. If the food is not hot, they will throw it away. So I have this Sandeep Tillalikar. Can you stand up, Sandeep? My old friend from many, many years. In fact, Sandeep has studied hotel and food management with my wife, by the way. My wife is also, of course, she hates cooking. That's a separate story, but anyway. So Sandeep's hotel, all the food waste and waste gets converted to gas, which fuels his kitchens now. And very soon, on the 7th of July, his hotel will become a net zero energy hotel. Please sit down, Sandeep. So we moved from 20,000 square feet, a building in 2001, inaugurated by the then President APJ Abdul Kalam ji, costing 18% more. Currently, a residential building, if certified by IGBC, costs less than a normal building. Not more, less. 2 to 3% less. Because you use green products which are certified by IGBC, the Green Pro Council of IGBC. There are 7,000 products. For example, a waterless urinal earlier was 12,000, 13,000 rupees. You even get it at 900 rupees today. And all airports are waterless urinals, sensor-operated taps. You put your hand down. I came to the Santa Cruz airport, TT2, and one guy kept on pushing the pushcock. I said, "Kya kar raha hai?" कहता वो बंद नहीं हो रहा पानी. I said, उसको छोड़ दे, पानी अपने आप बंद हो जाएगा. So, you know, people are not educated on sensor operated, they keep on tapping the tap. But anyway, and a commercial building, if certified by IGBC, cost only 2 to 3% more. But your capex may be 2 to 3% more, your OPEX can come down by 50, 60, 70%. So it makes business sense. You know, we used to talk about affordable sustainability. I am talking to you about profitable sustainability. You save money if you go green. And we are proud today IGBC is leading the movement. We are the second largest green building council in the world. Currently at 1,030 crore square feet of green footprint. And we are by far the largest in India. So whether you look at, and we have the highest ratings in the world because we rate everything in built environment. Whether it's a green village, the 42 railway divisions out of 60, the 750 metro rail stations in India, every metro rail station is certified by IGBC. Even the braking of the train, that energy is recovered for the air conditioning. You know, technology has moved, like we have electric vehicles we could not imagine, and tomorrow we'll have hydrogen fuel vehicles. Bhavish is here from Reliance Industries. His super boss, Mr. Sinal, who is the head of engineering of the entire Reliance Industries group, one day tells me we are going to make 15 megawatt of solar panels per day. Then after 1 week, he says, no, plan is changed to 20. And 3-4 times I met him and it became 35 megawatt per day. Now one nuclear power plant in India is 235 megawatt, Kakrapada, Kalpakam, Kaiga, Narora, Tarapur, 235 megawatt. They are talking of 35 megawatt of solar panel per day. And there are so many, Jackson, your partners, Mr. Sandeep, and so many others who are now, our solar panels at our headquarters are bifacial. We produce energy 180 degree sun. So even when I'm in the sun shadow region, and they are also transparent. So when I'm in the sun region, the reflective paint reflects on the bottom of the solar panel, and I'm producing. So now, this building which earlier costed 18% more, produces more energy. I have 125 employees in IGBC working there, not sitting in the lawn, working in an air-conditioned environment. But we produce more energy than we can consume. We give back to, we don't get money from the grid, but we get back, I mean, our energy bill is free, it's zero. It makes business sense to go green, ladies and gentlemen. You can reduce your water consumption by 50, 60, 70%. You can reduce your energy by 60, 70%, or go net zero, because we allow not only on-site energy generation, but off-site also. As long as you produce the amount green energy, as long as you produce the amount of green energy, we went to Reliance Copper Kherne, 580 acres, am I right? 580 acres, New Bombay. You know what? 1 ton of air conditioning, how many square feet does it cool? Anybody can take a wild guess. Consultants up. 1 ton of air conditioning cools 700 square feet at Reliance Copper Kherne. 12,000, 13,000 employees, if I'm not wrong. And then we went to Jamnagar, 850 acres. Because Reliance became so, they were saving so much money. We're doing all the data centers, Geo, you name everything. Reliance Retail, I don't know, 3,000 stores. So, Jamnagar, we are air conditioning 850 square feet with 1 ton of air conditioning. I have an 800 square feet drawing room. I have 6 tons of air conditioning in my drawing room. I have 6 tons of air conditioning in the same area where they have 1 ton. Now look at the capex reduction, look at the opex reduction. So it really makes business sense whether, I'm going to tell you 3, 4 projects that the Prime Minister inaugurated in the last 2 months. The Kedarnath Temple Complex, the Tumkur Helicopter Factory, the Goa Mopa Airport, 64% energy saving. I had gone to give the shield to the Prime Minister. And all the metro rails, line 7 to 2A and line 7 metros of Bombay, all certified by GVC. So I would request all of you, we need to take this up seriously. It's not going to cost you more, it's going to cost you less. We are also going to be talking to the Taj Group in a big way. They have 7 hotels now which are net zero on energy. Can you imagine an energy guzzler having hotels which do not require energy from the grid or produce enough energy and give back to the grid? So let's work together. It makes business sense to go green, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gurmeet Singh ji. Thank you so much for the wonderful words and very informative for sure. May I call upon Mr. Mihir Sangvi and Sandeep Talalika ji to felicitate Gurmeet Singh ji.
One by one, we are having very knowledgeful, insightful sessions. So we'll have another very insightful session from an architect. Anuja Sawant, she is an architect by profession in Sandeep Sherke Architects Office. She is a lead, AP, right? That is accredited professional, IGBC. and of course, she's a very, very knowledgeable architect in the society, talking about life safety, environment, and sustainability. So let's hear from her. Anuja ma'am, thank you.
Hello. So good afternoon. For an architect, it's more of a creative journey, and it's all about connecting the dots. So today I'm going to take you through a journey, a kind of a little story, and I'm going to talk through more of a pictures and few words, and just going to narrate few things, and let's see how interesting it becomes. Of course, there are so many experts who is going to talk about the numbers, who are going to talk about a lot of codes. They become an integral part of any architect's design, and that's what I said, that sustainability and the code analysis is a part of our DNA. So how creatively architect can think, and from there the journey gets implemented into actual design. So that's where I'm going to start. And today I'm calling my presentation as Back to Roots, and I'm saying that adopt and adapt. So where Pradeep started, and he said that it's a service industry and the hospitality is all about the people. People go to the places, or they travel for the business, or they travel for the holidays. And it becomes an immense responsibility on the hospitality sector to make their customers satisfied. But do you all remember what was the best holiday place in your childhood? And I would say it was a grandparents' place. Yes. And thank you. So, you know something? Those were the places, Gurmit, they were net zero. Zero carbon. You know, all of you remember your childhood, and that's why I've got all the pictures which are in black and white. Because those are all black and white memory, and I'm saying that the hospitality at its best at the grandparents' place. How they were, I'm from a Konkan region, and if you typically remember the Konkan houses, there is to be what we call it as a wadi in the front, wadi at the back, and that wadi is ending into a seashore. And it is complete in all respect, that you used to have your own vegetables, you used to have your own flowers, you used to reuse your clothing, I am part of the generation where I have used my brother's books when I was studying, because he was elder to me. We used to have all our fruits, and the houses were absolutely sustainable. And that's where the best places where we started our journey of our holidays. And wherever you go abroad, across the world, or you probably go to another planet, but you will always remember what you used to eat at your grandparents' place and what native food and dishes you used to have. And I have just given one such thing, which was Patavaramanta, and the kind of fish curries used to happen. With that apparatus, that taste would never come to any food if you go any brand or 5-star. So it's not about the star value, but it's about the warmth, and it's about the connectivity, what you get through the hospitality. So this is what a picture. I'm from Goa, so it's one of the picture from that region. And you always travel for the nature. You travel for the adventure. You try to travel for the explore, health, organic, and sustainability. So when you look at this, now I have to use all these elements and turn them into either in the form of a resort or probably in the form of an urban contrast or context. So now same picture, just look at the picture and the picture next. Can you see the similarity? Now the same, what I would call it as a mimicry of what was there as somewhere in the village, same thing is turned into an urban contrast or context. And you can see the same I have to mimic into the urban context. Now, my palette is I have to make it 100% sustainable. At the same time, I have to make it safe, and I have to make sure that the business is met. People are comfortable. Now, what are the key words as a designer for me? You can see the black and white pictures as something which is related with your native, and it is converted actually into the reality or through the architectural vision. That's how I'm connecting. So you could see that the biophilia is one of the very important element from the sustainability perspective as well as from the experiential perspective. And that's where I see that the biophilia has to become an integral part of the architectural design. Second element is air, which is very important. You can see in your villages, you used to have that cup of tea and used to read books with nice, fresh air. Now I have to make sure in my urban areas, I have to use my terraces in such a fashion that there is a biophilia and people are going to enjoy those fresh airs on the top of the terrace and become the best place for the leisure and for partying. Views. You can see the house with a lot of air, a lot of daylight, and a nice green views, again implemented in the urban context. Your facade, your organic facades used to use a lot of materials which are materiality is very important. When I'm turning them into today's reality, I have to make sure that they are chosen as a right palette, and I'm making sure that I think about the life cycle of these buildings, whatever I'm designing. Of course, I have to make sure that I give justice to the entire urban context and how I can reduce the heat island effect when I'm developing. So kind of a forest what I used to have in my native villages, I'm trying to create in today's days. A lot of daylight. You remember your houses with a lot of daylight and the courtyard planning and the cross ventilation. You can use a very innovative material and come up with the strategies where you can get a lot of daylight. Lighting. In our native villages, we used to use a lot of small lamps and things like that. Today, we create that kind of ambience with the various kinds of lighting strategies. Comfort. You can see that cat enjoying and relaxing. In my native place, we had a lot of cats and dogs. But when it comes to urban context, comfort is not only related with the air conditioning, it's always related with the acoustics too. So at the same time, my facade selection, my temperature requirement of my individual, because people will be traveling from abroad coming here and getting used to that kind of an environment, we have to make sure that all these areas are designed to give enough comfort to the people who are going to come here. Of course, the safety in every respect is very important, whether it's a fire safety, whether it's a life safety, whether it's the safety, security of the people who are going to become your customer. Of course, the whole nation is turning towards what is called as our organic food, which we once upon a time used to eat. And now you need Rujuta Divekar to tell you that, yes, you have to dry your grains in the sunlight. But if you all remember, our grandparents used to do that. And used to think that, why are they drying in the sun? And then now we need all the dietitians and they come and tell us that what to do and what not to do. But that's how our life was. And I think that's why I'm saying that going back to the roots, because what we are trying to say is that what was left at once upon a time has to come back. That's the cycle. Of course, the native. And native is something going to make you healthy, strong. Recycle and reuse, of course the trend comes back. I mean, we used to have all the utensils made out of the copper, and now you go and on any eco-friendly website and you will get a lot of copper and brass coming back. So that's what I'm again saying, that coming back to the roots. Recycle and reuse, it's not only about a single element, but I would say that each and every element of my design should be in position to analyze the life cycle of what I am choosing, whether it's related with the core and shell, whether it's related with the skin, or the facade, what is called as, whether it's an interior or whether it's a MEPF, everything needs to be carefully chosen. And I always think that as an architect, I have to wear that hat of the captain, and that's why I'm saying that I have to connect those dots when I'm designing. Of course, the food waste, which is also going to become a very important part. So for an architect, it's not only designing any kind of architecture, but at the same time, I have to make sure that how I'm planning the FOH as well as the BOH. Because BOH is extremely important in today's scenario. If I don't design the BOH to make sure that the food waste is getting converted into it, the sustainability to sustain it for a longer time, I could have a challenges. So that's what I feel that now we have to look at equally that the BOH planning is of extraordinary importance to make sure that we are sustainable in the long run. So now let me come to the final palette. When I go through all this, what becomes a palette for me? What becomes my checklist? What is an architect's footprint or a blueprint? For the design thinking, as I said, that for me, the creativity is important, but at the same time, for the user group who is coming to the hospitality sector or for any industry, now the wellness is going to become an extreme important part of the design. And same time, so wellness and sustainability is all going to go together hand by hand. So I have just made one simple chart, and you can see that for me, if I look at today's hospitality industry, this is going to become my checklist. So what is my checklist? When I talk about the design essentials, I talk about my master layout, my traffic analysis, my FOH planning, my BOH planning, my core design, my structural attributes, my code analysis, landscape and furniture. When it comes to facade, complete envelope analysis so that I make sure that I am giving a kind of a skin which is avoiding power guzzlers, hospitality industry. Material specification, as I said, the life cycle analysis and the code analysis is very important. Sustainability, of course, that has to become a benchmark for the industry, that we have to think about net zero water and energy, analysis of carbon footprint, which is the next target for all of us, wellness, well-being, waste management, materials and recycling. MEPF services, very, very important. FHC, pressurization shaft, ventilation shaft, LV, electrical, vertical transportation, fire safety security, STP, HVAC, and to make sure that everything runs efficiently, it's a project management which is pre-execution, during execution, testing, commissioning, and end is operation and maintenance. I think this is where, as an architect, we always connect the dot. And now it's not only closing at where the creativity is, how good my building is going to look, rather how people is going to remember when they come to that premises, and that becomes their grandparents' place. And that's where I say thank you to all of you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Anujaji, for the wonderful presentation. I think it takes us backward roots and reminds of our grandparents for sure. Thank you. May I call our honorary treasurer and office bearer, Mr. Paramjit Ghai, to kindly felicitate Ms. Anujaji. Thank you. Thank you, eminent speakers, for the wonderful presentations and the information you've offered to us and delegates. Now, may I request our president, Mr. Pradeep Shetty, and Mr. Gurmeet Singh Arora, the national chairman, IGBC, just to apprise you all that today we are signing an MOU between two prestigious associations. May I now request upon Mr. Sandeep Talalikar to say a few words. Yes. I'm sure he's been waiting for this day. Please.
Yeah. So, very quickly, Madam, thank you for reminding me of my grandfather. In fact, that's exactly why I'm going to stand in front of you and talk for 2 minutes. But I'm not going to use this mic, if you don't mind. I'm just going to let you know that I am Sandeep Talalikar. I come from Goa. My grandfather, who afforded me many, many vacations that were net zero, was also the first person who built a hotel in Goa. He built a hotel in 1952 called the Mandavi Hotel, and that made me a hotelier. That was the reason why I became a hotelier. And being a hotelier was part of my DNA. I knew nothing about green. I only knew black and white. Till Gurmeet ji and my guru, Dr. Prem C. Jain, came into my life, pushed me towards the Mumbai chapter, then was headed by Gurmeet ji, and they introduced the color green into my life. Today, we proudly own, 8 years ago, we proudly own India's first platinum-rated IGBC hotel. In its class, of course. We are not a 7-star, 6-star hotel. We are a simple 4-star hotel, but Asia's first platinum-rated. Now, we are going to become Asia's first net zero energy hotel in its class. I'm saying all this not to promote my hotel. I'm saying all this because this is the seed of the MOU between the two associations on which I have the pleasure of being an executive committee member. I cannot imagine IGBC without hotels, and I cannot imagine hotels without IGBC. Thank you, everybody. I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, 3 years ago we talked about this idea. Today it's come to fruition. I can imagine all the 10,000 hotels in India becoming green one day, in a small way. Some people don't have the land for solar, but they'll do something. They might improve on water, they might improve on waste, but they'll do something. This is a promise made, at least by me, to the industry. I hope Mr. Shetty helps me realize this promise. Gurmeet ji, thank you for coming. And IGBC, all of you, and the HRAWI, thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaskar. May I just conclude one thing? Arik Sahib, thank you so much for coming and bringing this entire thing to fruition.
You are always there now.
May I please request Mr. Shikre to please come forward. Sandeep Shikre ji? Is he there? He's not here. Oh, I'm sorry then. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Thank you, everyone. We are breaking for tea break for 15 minutes, and we gather again. Thank you.
Madam.
लवकर पटकन
Kaiwan, tea, coffee, please.
Yes, and I'm waiting for this photo session to get this over.
Super.
Check. Hello. 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 Yeah. Check. Hello. 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 Check. Hello.
हेलो हेलो आ रहा है हेलो हेलो हेलो
Check, check, check. Check. Check, check.
Var vi helt...
हेलो हेलो करेक्ट या हेलो 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 नॉर्मल ऐसे ही हाँ हाँ चलेगा
Check. Hello. Hello. Check. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you had a lovely tea coffee session. May I request Mr. Bhavesh Mehta from Reliance Industries to come forward? May I request Sandeep Talajagiri to kindly fill it? Yes, and Mr. Khatse, of course. Please be careful.
Just to let everybody know, this gentleman is one of the biggest Greek crusaders you'll ever find. Okay? Fortunately or unfortunately, he works for Reliance Industries. But fortunately, he's a great friend of ours.
Yes. And may I call Mr. Swapnil Sheshaji, the station officer, Fire Brigade. I must tell you that Mr. Sheshat was the first person to register for the seminar on LinkedIn. I request Warikji and Khatseji and Sandeepji to kindly felicitate this young and dynamic fire officer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the only person maybe one of the only people in the room who have been into a fire, has brought out
Yes,
the life.
absolutely. Thank you, Shoshaji. Thank you, Sandeepji, Warikji, and Khatseji. May I call upon Hemant Khatseji to kindly take charge of the panel discussion. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Give me the sheet. Okay, so we'll now head towards the last piece of the session, where we are going to have a very insightful, interactive discussion and probably Q&A with some of the eminent personalities out here. So I'll invite one by one who is going to be panelists today, and we'll have an exchange where probably you can also ask questions to them directly. So that's what the interactive session will have. So let me take the honor to invite Sandeepji. Sandeep Talajagiri. Yeah, please, please. So he's our... I will not make that mistake again. Somebody else have done. Sir, please take the seat. This or that. Your hot seat is here. Of course, I don't need to introduce him. He's one of the very passionate environmentalists, because you have seen him saying that his hotel is the first one in Asia. So of course, we'll have a lot of interaction and discussion with him. So thank you, Sandeepji. Let me invite Mr. Mihir Sanghvi, RATA President, past President ASHRAE Mumbai, and current National Membership Chair for ISHRAE. So thank you, Mihir Bhai, for finding time today.
No, thank you. It is my pleasure.
Please. Let me also invite my friend Rupesh Umtol, Electromech Consultants, yes, and the FSI Mumbai President. And of course, ISHRAE Mumbai, he's got a lot of now associations. I don't know what are the list that is going to be there. So he's involved in every day some of the associations and adding value to it. So the society, thank you, Rupesh Bhai, there. Let me also invite you, very, very experienced person in hospitality industry, Mr. Prem Thakur.
Yes, sir.
Taj Hotels, Director Engineering. We are really delighted to have you, sir, today. And I think the experience and the wisdom that we will hear from all four of them would be really encouraging. So let me just sit here so that I can have eye contact with everyone and probably eye contact with the audience as well. So if you look at it, we have Mr. Prem Thakur, who is actually representing the operator community, hotel operator community. Mr. Rupesh is again representing MEPF consultant or sustainability consultant kind of a thing. Mr. Mihir Sanghvi is our special guest today, and I wanted him to be bring here because he is going to represent here as a general occupant. He has been traveling a lot in India and abroad every day. So being his connectivity with all hotels, so we wanted to hear some of the candid opinion as an occupant, as a hotel guest. So he is here, and of course he is a very veteran and experienced person in the industry. And of course we have another, needless to explain, the best experienced person in industry, Sandeepji. So I would ask some of the questions that are pertaining to their domain and of course in generic, so that probably in your mindset, if there are any questions that can get also addressed, but if not, at the end of day or between, we can also have an opportunity to ask any questions. We'll have the mics in this thing involved. So let me just ask first question to probably Rupesh. Now since we are talking about sustainability, and thanks Anuja ma'am who has talked very creative way on sustainability, how we are going to get connected with the nature. So now we know that all the industry, hospitality industry is really getting constructed into a very complex way. We have a lot of inherent challenges in terms of structural. At the same time, there is a lot of compliances, ESG compliances. There is on top of every organization. So as a expert in this domain, where do you see the opportunity exists for the hoteliers to get into the mode of sustainability through their design and engineering? So can you just elaborate?
Okay, maybe Hemant, that's a question for new building coming up, right? Okay, so for new buildings anyway, we have expert architects, expert consultants, green building consultants, and the new hospitals can basically implement the latest technology at first hand, right? So they need not worry about basically the sort of problems, if they opt for a right design and right technology. The major challenges would be for the existing hotels, okay, and that is a huge, chunk of, you can say, buildings, right? And all the hotels, maybe, since he is the green crusader, okay, he might know what is to be done for maybe a green certified or energy efficient hotel. There are a lot of, hotels who are working in piecemeals actually, okay, and not as a holistic thing, okay. So they are first trying to, you said, try to comply something. So the easiest compliance is like, environmental compliance, like the generators they have or the equipment they have, okay. But on an energy efficiency side, to reduce the energy to a substantial level, okay, they are totally dependent on maybe, the manufacturers or some consultants, okay. But again, they are working in piecemeal, not on a total thing, okay. So we hear that there are a lot of energy, audits being done, or maybe the energy efficiency drives which are implemented. Okay, but those are pertaining to only one of the system. Okay, and we all know that the HVAC is a major energy guzzler, so we only concentrate on HVAC. Okay, we maybe try to change the existing equipment and try to achieve some energy efficiency. But according to me, okay, I think every building or every hotel needs to analyze their building in a holistic way. Okay. What even the building facade, okay, is affecting their energy, or what is the adjacent building which is affecting their building in an energy. So they need to implement or use the technology which is available. Okay, you already know that there are simulation softwares, there are energy modeling softwares which are used. Okay, and I feel that if you follow that proper way, okay, then the end result would be much more better. Okay. So I would basically urge them to use the technology, okay, in all aspects.
Thank you. It was very good. So next question to Prem Saab. Since of course you have a very vast experience as an operator representing specific brand, but then there is also a developer or owner which is sitting on the other side. So how do you see a challenge in meeting your wish list and what exactly is meeting his requirement, strike a balance so that ultimately the hotel that you exist or operates is safe, secure and sustainable. So how do you see the challenge?
So I'll take 2 steps back.
Sure.
Going back to the wonderful presentation, back to roots. So if you follow those principles are captured very well in IGBC design. So if you follow those IGBC criteria, it's not a rocket science. What I call is profit by design. If you design your building well, keeping in mind all the IGBC criteria, you're profitable from day one.
Very good. Very good.
And then it's The only sad part is we are not able to convince the developers. And it's not a difficult task.
Correct.
Be it design of a building or fire and life safety aspects. The developer needs to be convinced. And if it is fire and life safety, he needs to be scared. कि अगर आप ये नहीं करोगे तो इसका consequences क्या होगा? I'll give a classic example. I'll not name the property. It was already built 80-90%. And when we got into the picture, I did the PIP, the property improvement plan, and I gave him a list of mandatory things to be done in terms of fire and life safety, without which I'll not sign.
Correct.
And this will never be branded. But he said, sir, मैंने तो already खत्म कर दिया सारा काम. अब आपने जो list दिया उसमें मुझे 2 crore का खर्चा लगेगा. I used only one sentence. Sir, जिस दिन चिंगारी लगेगी, वो 2 crore 2 second में ash बन जाएगा. And believe me, he did all the changes, and we opened that beautiful hotel.
Wow, very good, very good. Thank you, thank you. I think that it needs a lot of courage to say so, because not that everyone will have that courage to go and face the owner, because ultimately the paycheck is going to be signed by the owner, and that's what he drive the engine. But really glad to know that you drive well. So another question to Sandeep ji, and I like the word which Gurdeep ji have said, affordable sustainability to profitable sustainability. So I really love it, sir, your word. So I mean, you being a first CII certified and green platinum hotel, yeah. So what's your passion driving towards that?
Well, like I said, before I entered green, I was black and white. Right?
Correct,
So
correct.
we had to be profitable. So just to let you know, when we opened our hotel, and for maybe 4 years, our average electricity bill, Mr. Thakur, especially, 9 lakhs a month. Okay? Today, we are trying to beat 1 lakh. We are lower than 1 lakh a month. So now tell me, from 9 lakhs to 1 lakh, is it profitable or is it not profitable? I don't know. That's up to you. But for me, it's a sure win. But I do have another story for you. From not only from a net zero energy, water waste, but let me tell you, we are in Fulton. Does anybody know where Fulton is? Huh? Okay. So we are talking about the border. Hey, you guys. You know, we are the border of the rain shadow. This is where approximately where farmers are. What? Yes. Why? Crops are failing, all this stuff, no water. Today, it is such a proud feeling that after 9 years of operating, that today we don't need to take a single drop of water from outside. Okay? Believe me, it is amazing what we have done. Last story. First day of operation, 2014. Second guest to check out. CFO of Bharat Gears, I don't know if you know the company, comes down from the elevator screaming, huh? But you imagine, we are in the service industry. We like our guests to be happy. We want them to be smiling. Can you imagine the second guest coming out screaming? So we were like, hey, what happened? You know, please tell us. Maybe, you know, we can help. He's saying, I am late for my meeting. Your rooms are too comfortable. I'm not kidding you. I'm not lying to you. This is exactly the truth. You give a good environment, you give good HVAC, okay? You give a great bed. People rest and relax. You don't have to go on holiday, okay? Please understand, what we are trying to do is not only fire safety, which is incredibly important, or just MEP, which is incredibly important, or anything. We are trying to build an outstanding environment. Okay, so, sorry.
Thank you, sir, thank you. Yeah. Good, very good. I think good interaction going on. So again, my question to Mihir Bhai, frequent traveler, you name the city is there, and every week he's been almost traveling. So I just wanted to ask you a question which is like a guest, hotel guest. When you get into any facility and look around, do you really feel safe and secure? If not, so what is your immediate reaction that is there for hotel owners or operators?
So great question. I mean, as an end user, if you are asking me, honestly, I mean, whenever we are traveling, what are the basic things what you look in a hotel, right? Comfort. That is what you are exactly looking at. I don't want the paraphernalia which is coming around along with all the additional facilities and all that. But if I'm getting a good bed, good bathroom, good HVAC, that is what I'm looking at. A comfort of 8 or 9 hours. I mean, normally when you're on a business trip, that's what you're looking at. And good, decent, sattvic food, if I may say so. That is what you're looking at. No, I have enough storage here, so I don't require one. That was on a lighter note. But yeah, honestly speaking, that is what you are looking at, right? I mean, entire day you are taking early morning flights, you are traveling innumerable hours, and I mean, then you are getting into a hotel, just putting your bag and rushing for the meetings, and end of the day, all you want is just peace of mind. That is what you are looking at. Since you specifically said now, that has entered my mind, I think every time I would be checking the staircases wherever I go to the next hotel. I mean, that is something what you put into my mind, that am I safe enough for that particular part? Because a lot of times it happens is for a frequent traveler, you get up in the morning and first question was, where am I? Right? That's the kind of thing what happens. And what you want to see is, are you safe enough or not? Now, going bit off from the question what you asked, I also do a lot of retrofit for hotels, particularly since I'm into manufacturing. And I've seen the service part of hotel industry also. I so agree with Prem Saab as well as Rupesh ji. You have to look at the hotel as an envelope. When you start looking at silos, that's where your issues start coming in. And purely, I mean, I have been to N number of 5 stars, N number of 4 stars. I've been to their service part of it. I've been to their AHU rooms. I've been to their plant rooms. And a lot of times what you see is, एक capex बचाने के चक्कर में, they keep on spending OPEX again and again, again and again, again and again. It's somewhere a logical engineering concepts which needs to be sold to the owners, and I'm sure we'll be able to address the situation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, please, Prem Saab.
I can't stop myself. So, to add to your point, whenever I enter a place, a public space, my mundi goes up.
Correct. Same as mine.
My mundi goes up to see sprinklers hai ki nahi, smoke detector hai ki nahi.
Right.
And when I sat there, I looked at the fire exit.
Correct.
Is it blocked? Is the swing inside or outside?
Correct.
I just can't help it.
Absolutely.
I'll give an example. I was attending my son's function in his school, and his school had newly renovated auditorium. The function started, we entered, sat in the auditorium, and sprinkler had caps on it. I couldn't pay attention to the function. First thing I did when the function was over is go to principal's office. I told her, this is absolutely criminal. You have thousands of kids and parents. God forbid something happens, it's a disaster.
Right.
She appreciated it, immediately called the facility guy and had it removed.
Wonderful.
So it has to start from elementary level. Like you mentioned कि सबको नहीं पता hooter बजता तो क्या होना चाहिए. But it has to start from elementary level. In school itself, there should be a chapter on fire and life safety.
Correct.
Be it basic.
Yeah.
But only if it starts from there, then we can reach masses.
Right. And that's what my sub-question to you was when I hear from him that if guest himself or herself is not so keen in looking at safety and security till the event happens, probably his priority or her priority is to only look at the comfort and the ambience and so on and so forth. You being an operator, having so many conditions with regards to the fire and life safety, how do you see a challenge in creating that as a priority matrix for into the design?
So to be honest, these days, fire and life safety is topmost priority for any brand.
Correct.
Be it a national brand or international brand. So before this, I worked with Marriott for 15 years.
Correct.
And now even in IHCL. So every hotel company have different audits twice a year or annually. And that is done by an external agency. And if there's a basic passing criteria, if it doesn't meet, they get some time to rectify it. If it doesn't happen, the GM gets a warning letter. Even if it fails, then GM and the chief engineer loses his job.
Wow.
So it has to be as strict as that.
Right.
Only then we can achieve 100% safety.
Right. Sandeep ji, let me also ask you as an extension to the same, like I wanted to have the same continuity of the discussion. Like being an owner of the hotel, I mean not specifically your hotel, in generic I'm talking about, like look at this being an old property, this thing. The major challenge exists when it comes to fire analysis is maintenance, operation and maintenance. So how do you address that particular pain area for specifically all the hoteliers where they can ensure that the operation and maintenance is there, not to an excuse that this is an old property, this is an old system, I cannot go this way, that way. Because ultimately life safety is critical. So I'm talking about retrofit, I'm talking about operation maintenance and specifically hotel industry. How do you address?
In fact, I'd like to use what Mr. Thakur said earlier when he explained to that one person who wanted their brand. He said, 2 crore, 2 minute mein khak ho jayega. So this is an amazing, way of putting it, because none of the business people really want to spend money. They don't.
Correct.
Why? If they receive prosperity all the time without spending money, so be it. Why not? What pushes them towards it is, I think, all these ideas of what would happen if something negative would happen. Okay, some government intervention. And may I bring a topic like, for example, CSR. Okay, 10 years ago, we only heard such a thing as CSR, right? I mean, it took the government to say 2% of your profit goes to CSR for suddenly NGOs to flourish, schools to get suddenly solar thing, or orphans, dogs, cats, everybody's happy now. I think at certain point, that 2% for green or 5% for green is going to come. Okay, and I tell you this for a fact, it is going to come. And we are going to be forced to do it. Okay, and then, khel ka maza aayega. Today, it's a question of great people, okay, convincing owners like me. And not a convincing, almost scaring us into getting there. And it is for some of us to feel, yes, this makes sense, that for 20 years, instead of paying 9 lakhs a month, I'll be paying somewhere around 75,000. And that's how it goes today.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So can you do it differently? It has to be, one more thing I must give credit to. And how many of you are parents here? Okay. How many of you have children who tell you about green more than you talk about green? So that's what's going to happen soon. Very soon, the children are going to be the driving force. I remember when we opened the first TGI Friday in the world in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the driving force of bringing a child into the TGIF was a free balloon and a free French fry. Okay, this is what brought the children in. They forced the parents to come in. Very soon, it's going to become green practices.
Wow.
Sorry.
Very good. So just to talking about green, and when it comes to green, of course, energy management comes in play. So question to you, Rupesh bhai, where do you see industry moving towards conservation of energy or energy management, and where do you see, is it really happening on ground, or is it just eyewash, or people just do it for sake of doing it?
Okay, so I work in Singapore also for energy efficiency consultancy, okay, and we have also started working in India, okay, obviously with the technology, okay, we want to help the hotel owners with the technology to make decisions, right, correct decisions. Okay. So it is at a slow pace, okay. I would say Singapore is much ahead because, there's a mandate that by 2030, you have to reduce your energy consumption by 30%. Do whatever you want, okay, do whatever you want. government is also ready to give them, finances and all. Here, the thing is different. Okay, the hotelier maybe have to spend the money out of their pocket, but it is in good terms with them only. Like he said, from 9 lakhs to 1 lakh. Okay, operational cost is the major criteria. Okay, and unfortunately here we don't do the life cycle analysis for you say the systems as well as the buildings. Okay, which should be the must. Okay, if you are building a new hotel, okay, first do the life cycle analysis, okay, and then take the decisions. Okay, and that is basically applicable to all type of buildings. Okay, that is where we are pushing for, again, with the tools like digital twin, okay, to the construction industry. Okay, and I think it will take some pace. Like we used to find less green certified buildings, but now there's a big numbers which is coming up. Right now, you find that there is IGBC, there are USGBC, there are other certifying bodies also. So it is taking some pace. Okay. So likewise, there needs to be push from government authorities, from the owners, okay, and from the entire industry. Like Mirbai is a manufacturer. Okay. So if he has some innovative product, okay, which can save energy, okay, that product has to be pushed in the market, right, in a right way. So I think as a sort of a consortium, all of us should work towards it. Correct. Okay, and then only it will take that pace which is required for, you are saying 2050 is our target. Okay, so if everybody contributes, okay, we might bring down to maybe 20, 30, 35 also, yeah. Right? So everyone needs to contribute. That is my take.
Right. And I believe, what you are saying is making sense. It has to be collaborative effort. It has to be consolidated efforts. But again, people participation is the key. So when it comes to life safety also, Mirbai, unless until people participate in that ensuring or adhering the safety, it is not going to inculcate. It doesn't matter how operator strong it is, like Prem Saab is saying, how stringent the compliances are for, but ultimately if people who are going to be using that ecosystem are not aware, then it's going to fall down. So how do you think that the people participation is going to go up on life safety?
So today, honestly speaking, let's ask any one of us, what is the most precious thing what you have? It is your life, right? Correct. And trust me, we say, तुझे जान से ज़्यादा प्यार करता हूँ, but जब जान पे आती है ना, प्यार side पे जाता है. Is it right or wrong? This is reality, right? Okay. So this is hardcore reality. Now I'll give you a classic example, Hemant bhai. I stay in one of the prime property in South Bombay, and we had this fire drill happening, and people in our building, who's who are staying there, even from Reliance Industry and whatnot, okay? They send their servants down for the fire drill. So it was amazing. We had one fire drill. We completed that. I'm part of the committee, so we had our general body meeting happening. And I asked them honestly, I said, you actually think that when there is fire in the building, your servant is going to wait for you, okay, save you, and then he's going to get out? And then we had another fire drill, but touch wood, I think almost 70% of the building people, they actually came down. Because they realized what is being happening, and then suddenly they had lots of questions, where are sprinkler system, where is this? And that awareness is happening. Just to tell you more about it, Chief, you are aware of it. In Ishre, we had this JetQuest, what happened last year. And since we have two Govans who are here, let me tell you, there was this girl from 8th standard, and we were questioning her. She spoke about 17 sustainability goals. 8th standard girl from a public school from Goa. So this is the level of awareness which is there. There is no planet B, right? And we'll have to be sustainable when we are looking at it. And जिंदगी भी एक ही है, वापस दूसरी मिलने वाली नहीं है. So that awareness is very much happening. You are aware we are part of so many programs. What happens nowadays, each and every program, we always start with a safety drill. Correct. You will have a security officer coming in, actually talking that where is your fire exit, what you are supposed to do, what are the systems, and you do have to follow. I'll give you another example, Hemant bhai. I'll make it very short. There was a fire incident in my building, and my bhabhi was in the 9th month of pregnancy carrying twins, and she could not come down. And trust me, till the fire got doused, We didn't know what to do. Really, I mean, and that is, you don't want to be part of that scene, trust me. So I think basics of fire, that is something what we need to really look into. Your corridors, your staircases, you know, somewhere हम लोग को लगता है ये तो हमारी property है, building का maintenance देते हैं, so we should put everything in that. That's where we have to be a little careful. So awareness is definitely there. People are understanding. People have realized with the kind of fire incidents which have taken place, and I think your internet and social media has played a big role in creating that awareness.
Thank you, thank you.
Hemant, I would like to add here, you know, we have our expert trainer, Mr. Rajesh.
That's what I was about to say that. Good that you took my words exactly. We have a expert here sitting in the room, Rajesh Shirke, who is actually synonymous about mock drill. When it comes to mock drill word, the next name comes is Rajesh Shirke. Can I have a mic for him to just say few words or experiences about mock drill, how it happens and how it really should happen?
Thank you, sir. It's an honor. A few days back, I was at school from FSI doing a program, and just came to, they had a real incident, and I want Santosh sir to really help out, because I never thought it can ever happen. So they had this school bus, all parked in the compound, and Mumbai, we have all those buildings near to the school. And that bus was to be discarded because उसका 15 साल हो गया था. तो बोले इसको खड़ा रखो, next month में उसको जाना है. So जब बस को जाना है तो उसको कोई ध्यान भी नहीं देता. And it had a huge CNG cylinder back, and that wall gave off, and then you can imagine the level of gas what was coming out. People on the 5th floor could hear it, and 2nd floor बच्चों ने पूरा खांसना start कर दिया था. So it was like a situation like a mini Bhopal. And it was again a lunch time. So lunch time in a school is the most horrible time, because ना तो school में class में teacher है, ना तो बच्चे हैं. Everybody running helter skelter. And in that situation, the principal had to take a call, and she had to evacuate, making sure बस जिस कंपाउंड में साउथ साइड में खड़ा है वहाँ से इवैक्यूएट नहीं होना चाहिए. सो बोले कि जो chaos था, बट आई न्यू आई हैव टू गेट, लकीली शी इन्वॉल्व द पेरेंट्स ऑल्सो. पेरेंट्स लोगों ने हाथ पकड़ पकड़ के फुटपाथ पे लाइन बनाया था ताकि बच्चे लोग रोड पे इधर नहीं जाना चाहिए. एंड देन टू टू द ऑलमोस्ट 100 meters away. So I think this is something which even we never thought it could happen. But schools, are they prepared? कहीं अगर उसी साइड से निकाला जहाँ पर बच्चे लोग बस लीक हो रहा है, then and it's a CNG, you know how बाजू में buildings भी है. So that is what is the whole thing. Okay, so my question, sir, regarding the hotel is to Prem sir, right? So like it's not about 5 stars, sir. It is for 4 stars and 3 stars. So as I have been also traveling, so मैं दोपहर को भी देखता हूँ सर होटल का, और रात को 2 बजे भी उठ के देखता हूँ. अभी ये बीमारी हो गया, जो भी आप बोलो सर. Right. So we have seen in I was there in Raipur in one of the hotels. Day it was all open. Night जब जाके देखा तो उधर ताला लगा हुआ था. So I went down and actually asked that guy कि बाबा it was a 3-star hotel. So बोला साहब वहाँ पर ना बंदर अंदर आके कुछ भी सामान उठा के लेके जाता है. And we had a situation क्योंकि वो होटल के बाहर में एक पेड़ भी था. Right. मैं बोला कि आग लग गया, बंदर तो बच जाएगा, लेकिन हमारा क्या होगा. Second is what happened in Delhi 3 years back, 4-star hotel. Fire happened, people wanted to exit, लेकिन 2 exit था, लेकिन बाहर से किसने कड़ी मार के रखा था. And the reason given was, सर यहाँ पर ड्रग एडिक्ट लोग हैं, वही रात को इसी स्टेयरकेस से ऊपर आते हैं, जो सामान मिला चोरी करके भाग जाते हैं. तो सर ये ऐसा सिचुएशन जो हो रहा है पूरा, सो व्हाट इज द प्रैक्टिकल वे आउट, बिकॉज दे ऑल्सो हैव दिस थिंग, बिकॉज उनको भी अपना प्रॉपर्टी बचाना है, बट साथ में अगर ये कुछ हो गया तो क्या. एंड दिस ऑल्सो फॉर कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग्स ऑल्सो. सो सम कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग वी हैव सीन लॉकनी सर उधर से बिल्डिंग्स विच आर नेक्स्ट टू दिस अंधेरी फ्लाईओवर, क्योंकि वहाँ पर सब चोर ड्रग एडिक्ट्स एवरीबडी इज देयर. उसको जो कुछ मिला सर फॉर 50 rupees ही विल डू एनीथिंग. सो व्हाट इज द वे आउट फॉर सच सिचुएशन सर?
So if you ask me, can you hear me? Yeah. So if you ask me, life safety takes precedence over anything else, everything else. For example, we don't even allow a tower bolt in a fire exit door like this. This is incorrect.
Incorrect.
Forget the locks. And if it is the case, we should have it removed. खुदा ना खास्ता यहाँ पे कुछ होता है, power goes off, the glow light will be seen. If there's a tower bolt, people will panic. So life safety comes first, then comes security. We need to work around for security without compromising on life safety. तो अगर वो staircase है, it cannot be locked, it cannot be blocked. maybe you can come up with an access control which bypasses during fire. You can work out some options, but no compromise with life safety whatsoever.
Right. So hold on, sir. I just wanted to have exactly the same pace of the discussion. When you read all the cases that are happening in and around, especially in India, and that too especially hotel fires, let's restrict our discussion for the theme that we have today here. It really pains when you see somebody dies, somebody injured and stuff like that. So this question is not asking in terms of your own profession, just coming out of the profession and looking around from a very top perspective. Where do you see a gap and what's the way forward?
See, gap is there should be an enforcement of laws, bylaws. For example, our NBC is recommendatory. It has to be a mandatory law. There should be annual audits by an approved authority from the department, and if any building fails, they should get a notice, maybe a shutdown notice or whatever, unless they rectify it. So that is the gap. There should be uniform code,
correct,
which should be applicable all over the country. यहाँ पे क्या होता है? Rajasthan, I have a approval from CFO. Raipur will say, I have an approval for CFO, NBC का क्या करे? I'll give an example. I was reviewing a property, a standalone hotel, which had a banquet on 4th floor, and staircase width was minimal. My first question was, can I get an occupancy load calculation for this floor? Owner says, वो क्या होता है? मेरे पास CFO का approval है. हम तो ये होटल चला रहे हैं काफी सालों से. बोले सर ऐसा नहीं होता है. Then I explained him what is an occupancy load calculation. I told him if you have to comply, you need to build an additional staircase. It may be an external staircase, but those many people should be able to egress in case of emergency. So until and unless we enforce, जब तक law नहीं बनता है, लोग डरेंगे नहीं. I'm telling you. डर ही सबको एक लाइन में ला सकता है, otherwise it will not happen.
Right. Good. So I think it encourages me to ask and take the liberty of asking the same question to Warik sir here. Can I have the mic? You being a code enforcer, okay, and since sir said that this could be one of the remedy for mitigating the risk, and also he mentioned that about having a uniform law, like abhi now uniform law aane wala apne India mein, aisa sun raha hu main, but for a fire specifically, we have some kind of a gray area. Although NBC is there, but still people are following their own way. So, from an authority perspective, what's your take on this? Yeah, somebody can rectify.
Awareness is a major issue. So we heard all stakeholders, right from the developer of the property, architects, IGBC experts, other service providers, HVAC or whatever it may be. So everybody should follow the National Building Code provisions because they are the basic minimum ones. So I would say NBC gives you the minimum requirement, maybe the electrical, water supply, fire safety, life safety. So these are the basic requirement. Then if you want to achieve as per the multinationals, they go for NFPA compliances, or there are FM global guidelines to make it more safer as per the, because every aspect should be given with some logic. Right. Unfortunately, in our NBC, we do not have any handbooks which gives you minimum requirements. As we know, in 1 minute, 40 people can go out from this particular premises. So what should be my travel distance? What should be my dead end? So all these calculations, common path of travel as you narrated. So everything should be looked from the planning point itself. What will be the initial, normally what we see, take an example of any residential building. We give minimum points for the electrical loads in the building, so that if it is 2 bedroom, only AC provisions are given in 2 bedrooms itself. But once occupancy is given, immediately that owner occupier puts air conditioning in hall. If it is ground plus 10 story buildings, consider the load of entire electrical load of that building goes haywire after 3 years of the occupancy. Then we have the fancy interiors up to means external, we have safety doors, then sit outs, decoration, all fire rated decorates are there. Then those fire loads increases. So the whatever the fire systems are provided at that initial stage and what fire load has been increased during the course of occupancy of the building is totally different. So that audits, electrical audit, that fire safety audits needs to be done. NBC is minimum, but say it is a state subject and as per the building bylaws of that particular city or the state, it has been made mandatory, say through Fire Act or the building bylaws of that country, city or state. So it is a mandatory as from that, but it is a selective because it is the FSI and everything is governed by the local building bylaws. So you may get three FSI, 4 FSI or somewhere 8 or 9 FSI also. But ultimately what is the width of the roads from which you are accessing that property, then how your fire engines will reach in case of emergency. So all these factors should be holistically looked into to make the building more safer. So awareness and following discipline, and ultimately we should drive towards the performance-based application of the building for every discipline. Then only we will be in a position to give more safer kind of an envelope for any activity, maybe residential, business or hotel, whatever it may be. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. I mean, you use the right word of discipline and performance-based, where you really go beyond. So, last question to Sandeep ji, and then maybe I'll throw open the question to all the audience here. So, be prepared to ask a question by raising your hand. So, as a owner, sir, and especially again the hotel owner, especially not you as a owner, but overall owner community, I am saying that. When do you think India is going to reach to a level where each hotel owner is going to have that spirit that every guest in this my hotel will remain safe, secure, and for that whatever is to be required I will do. I will maybe go beyond codes and compliances, I will go beyond my CFO NOC. What is that motive and where you think that India is going to be reaching to that?
Honestly, I don't know when the end will, I mean, what is the end year? But I can tell you where it started. It started today in this room. You know, I'm telling you, I feel the energy in this room.
Yeah.
People are convinced about what we are talking about. And we will start this message with the MOU signed with so many great people who are going to be my partners from now onwards for every seminar. And guess what? We will send this message out again and again and again. So to answer your question, we started today, right now. Where the end is, I don't know, but I hope it's not too late, sir. And I mean too late in the sense, too late.
Right. So you think that the training is going to be the key?
Absolutely.
Or beginning
everything.
For that, right?
First of all, owners have to become
convinced.
Because they hire everybody else to come.
Right.
You know, or they'll say, look, stop telling me this, get out. I'm hiring another architect, another MEP, I'll take another brand who's going to say yes. You know, and that goes on and on and on. So somehow this person needs to be brainwashed.
Yeah.
Okay?
Correct.
Then starts everything else. Absolutely. And how do you brainwash me? Show me the money. Show me the money. Okay? You can tell me that, yes, it's lives and all that. I'll say, yeah, true. But show me the money for it. Okay? So I'm being very, very honest with you. Okay? But very few passionate owners will have started today.
Very good.
Sorry.
So you
Yes,
can,
since we are talking about life and fire safety, and since IGBC and this association had the MOU, okay, I would basically like to highlight that FACI has also come up with the Suraksha Index. That is the fire Suraksha rating for the building. Okay, and then there are various types of buildings. So maybe we can promote that. Yeah. So we I am not authorized to sign that MOU, but then we should sign that MOU and take it forward. Right.
Very good. Thank you.
I'm the vice chairman for FSI Suraksha Index.
लगता है सब अंदर अंदर ही sign करेंगे. No, I think again, I think coming to the point where I think all of us needs to be honest enough. All of us needs to stop working in silos. Here we talk of hospitality industry, here we talk of eShrey, here we talk of FSI, we talk of Indian Plumbing Association, IGBC. Everyone is working great independently. It's about time to unite together. If we are going to talk of the kind of development that is coming in this country and the kind of construction that is coming in the country, you have to have that discipline which has to come in.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't come, we are in for trouble. And somewhere, I mean, what he said, show me the money. I think our obsession, pardon me my saying this, for L1 has to go. It has to be C1, the chosen one.
Chosen one.
And kitna deti hai, that is another thing. Another problem is, आपका concept बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन पहले कहाँ पे लगाया है? Now, we don't want to adapt new technology, we don't want to move forward, we want to save on money, and then we want to bleed. All these things doesn't happen. So if you have to build the kind of, I mean, we are talking that in 10 years, we'll be building another country, another India in India. That is the kind of construction what is coming in. Life safety comes first, rest everything comes second. That's what I'll say.
Thank you, sir. So over to you guys. You can have mic volunteer, please. You can pick up any questions, burning questions for the panelist. Burning. No pun intended. Yeah. Yes, please.
See, I come from a little industrial background of safety, fire safety, where most of the industries now they have started. Any guest come, any visitor comes, rather than guest, any visitor comes. At the gate, at the entrance, the security first gives them something like induction. You know, they give them what is the safety there, how it is they have to behave, and there is even a TV provided there where they show the safety awareness. Now, in our hotel industries, I'm not a very frequent traveler or visitor to hotels. Is there any such possibility of making awareness of the or induction to guests who are coming, maybe for 5 minutes? What are the safety they have to follow in the hotels when they enter and they stay in the hotel?
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't catch your name.
Kamath.
Mr. Kamath?
Yeah.
Namaskar.
Yeah. Namaskar.
Is there a possibility? Absolutely. In fact, I think you have had a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
I'm taking personal note of this.
Yes.
Is it being done today? No.
I don't think.
You know, only place I know where 100% being done is on an aircraft.
Yeah.
You know, and we talk about egression of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
A 777 has to be egressed in 9 seconds. Is that happening? No. So the answer is no, but is it a possibility? Is it going to happen? Absolutely. You know, and I'm going to start it from my hotel first.
Wow. Thank you. So one more just point where Warik sir just mentioned.
Kamath sir, just to give you an answer.
Yeah.
I've had this amazing experience in a small place called Rajkot.
Yeah.
It is in Gujarat. Okay. Small hotel, I think maybe just a 3-star hotel. I enter the hotel, the bellboy comes along with me, we go to the room. He switches on the AC and he says, sir, 25 degree pe rakhoge to acha hai, it is good for saving on this thing. Then he shows me this is a fire exit.
Wow.
A bellboy. Speaking in local language, fortunately I could pick up because being a Gujarati I could understand. As simple as that. He was not some fancy engineer, he was not from some amazing engineering background. दो ही चीज उसने मेरे को बताया, सर AC है 25 डिग्री पे रखना अच्छा है, एनर्जी सेव होता है, इतना ही. This is the sentence what he gave. And I said, this is the fire exit in case of any emergency. If such a small initiative can happen, I think I'm very sure, I don't see it as a challenge for rest of the people, because this is a basic thing where you'll always have a bellboy taking you to your room. I think this is a standard practice. At least I think 9 property out of 10 I have seen, I think it is being followed. One property may be an exception.
Superb.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just to add, what Warik sir mentioned, I understand that many of our, codes which are there, they are recommended. They are recommended, it should be followed. But most of them should be made compulsory and mandatory, then only these things will start. For example, this electrical audit, I think it is still under recommendation. You have to carry it out in recommended, you should do it in once in 3 years. But most of the fires, we know more than 80% fires take place because of the electrical short circuit. But if electrical audit is done, it has happened in my society, that's what I'm telling. We got it done, and in 6 months there was an incident where life was saved because of electrical audit. So it's that important. So why not make this electrical audit also mandatory, so that once in 3 years, everywhere it should be done, that this kind of ruling should come. And even NBC, I understand in one of the states, they didn't want to implement it. Am I right, Khadse sir? I think there was this big webinar on that seminar by many of the fire officers, and they were there on that. What action should be taken so that that state follows this NBC? Because they wanted to follow their own codes, they didn't want this national building code. So this is the thing which is very important.
So that's again your recommendation, or it's your question?
Which one? No. This was to be
So
made
if it is your
compulsory
question, so Warik
mandatory,
sir can answer probably.
because somebody asked Warik sir what is his opinion on this.
Yeah, so Mike,
rightly, it should be made compulsory. Mandatory, not recommendation.
So as far as electricity, it is a central government act, and states are implementing it. So it has got a provision for chartered electrical inspectorate. And already state of Maharashtra has started registering it. Almost 100 such type of engineers are already registered with government of Maharashtra, and the number will increase. And they will start carrying out these audits periodically for certain types of buildings. And this will come in near future for various types of occupancies. So this is the one development happened during last 1 year as far as electrical audits are concerned. And during fire audits also, we have implemented as per the National Building Code. Maharashtra Fire Act has been amended just on this 30th of May. In that also, we have included the fire safety audit for certain types of building. And in that, we will take this electrical audit on the record while conducting the fire audit. So that is another part. And as far as mandatory is concerned, as per the World Trade Organization and Government of India guidelines, they are ease of doing business, and it is a self-certification what they are insisting upon. So we have removed the renewal of fire license also, and it is the license, third-party licenses we are accepting, or third-party audit we will accept. We don't have actually manpower, government machinery to do each and every audit things. So it is totally upon the self-certification and the self-audit. We have the guidelines, checklist provided through the various departments, and they have to follow and give the self-certification by appointing third-party agencies. So that is a practice adopted by the government of India and the various state governments. Few states, as you highlighted, they have gone beyond NBC to have their own. But now they have appointed one committee of 4 or 5 IPS officers, and now they are visiting all metros, what they are doing in their states. And I am confident enough they will come back, roll back their decision, and they will follow National Building Code, because it is a sacrosanct document. It is a committee of all experts, and they have formulated it, and it is aligning to the international standard where their R&D is also there. Maybe sprinkler detection, everything is coming from NFPA, IBC, International Fire Code, and all international codes. So it is very difficult to give alternate solution which is not proven. So it will not stand, and definitely they have to abide with the NBC.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Just one thing I'd like to add also to Mr. Khadse's question, where hotels come under the compliance, how do you, ensure safety, security from the fire point of view? So actually, all hotels that are classified, the classification done by the GOI, so Government of India, Maharashtra, Tourism, India Tourism. And when they classify a hotel, the mandatory norm is that every guest room should have an fire exit plan behind the door.
Right.
So that is also to answer your question, whether people are following that. So I think it's imperative that one has to do it. Yeah. Otherwise you won't get classified.
Correct. Thank you. Any other question, burning question? Yes, sir.
I wanted to add regarding the energy part of it, the Energy Conservation and Building Code, which is passed by Parliament, is now getting amended to Energy Conservation Sustainable Building Code. And there are 108 engineers from ISHRE, IPA, and this is driven by the Prime Minister's office, by the way. So ISHRE is doing the energy, IGBC is doing the waste, and IPA is doing the water part. 108 people working, and they have given at least 15 man-days in the last 2 months, including my technical committee chair of IPA, Sharad Rao. You know, some of you know Sharad Rao very well. Even his wife called me that my son is getting married and he's doing your work over here. So, but this is being driven by the PMO, and this will become an act of parliament where the Energy Conservation and Sustainable Building Code will get mandated. Super. Yes, sir. Also, a mandate is coming for water fixtures and sanitary ware with single, double, and 3-star rating. I'm working on that for the last few years, and now we needed an Indian code, IS 17650, which we got last year. So even your water consumption will come down. We have now a water efficiency bureau. Okay, I'm a vice chair there, and where we are looking at saving 20%, because 75% water goes for agriculture. So we are looking at 20% saving to make India water positive. 50% saving in the urban landscape, and total 20% looking at agriculture, leather. There are different committees working on that. So like the BEE, we have a water bureau also now.
Just to add what Gurmeet ji said is a couple of correction, Gurmeet ji. ECBCS, what we are adding, the government of India has reached, and not 108, there are 154 volunteers who are giving voluntary time. Okay, this normally a code of this stature would take 1.5 years to create. It is being done in less than 3 months. And what he says is absolutely correct. I have heard people who are hospitalized. I've heard people who have got emergency in their house. And these guys are burning their midnight fuel, and they are creating this code. So this government is very adamant to implement this code, and you will be soon getting, very good mandate to follow. So I'm very sure, end of the day, that awareness is, in fact, G20 in Goa, it will be launched. It will be launched. So I think next month you will be, not this month, sorry. Today is 1st July. So we are talking this month, you will see the launch, what will happen.
I just want to, maybe advise Kamatji or everyone, okay. It's like, you want something to be made mandatory, okay. Life is yours, right? You want to save it yourself, okay. So doing an electrical audit for your own resident or own office is your responsibility, right? Why somebody has to make it mandatory? Similarly on energy efficiency, okay, if you save energy for your premises, it is going to save your money, okay. So why we have to wait for, somebody else to make it mandatory, okay. So I think we all need to think about it, okay, and do our part of work for thing, okay. So I would say we have done our own homes and offices, secure in terms of all thing, electrical and fire. Correct. So that is the way we will have to drive this. Otherwise, if you wait for somebody to make it mandatory, it is not going to happen, right?
Good. So I think we are just about to end the session. I hope it was really interactive, and a lot of insights we got. So I would like to thank you all the panelists here for being here and giving their wisdom and sharing their experiences. So with this note, I would like to end this panel discussion. If in case you have any questions, burning, non-burning, we have high tea now in the lobby, so we can exchange our discussion there. So over to you, Hiran bhai. Yes, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Hope it was very good.
Executed more than 520 projects pan-India, totaling to about 4,800 curtains till date. Different types of applications of fire curtains. Basement car park compartmentation. Lift lobby compartmentation. compartmentation.
Gurbir, come on. Arey baap re.
Double barrel curtain with overlap for easy access. Open kitchen compartmentation.
Thank you. What was that? Sandeep.
Staircase escalator compartmentation with corner support. Staircase escalator compartmentation without corner support.
Welcome to Orchid. I work here as a chairman of this hotel. 29 years back when we started the first environmental sensitive hotel, when we started the Good afternoon, everybody. It's good evening now, but good afternoon. Welcome to the Orchid. I work here as a chairman of this hotel. 29 years back when I came up with this idea of opening a first environmental sensitive hotel, this was the first hotel in Asia. At the same time, we decided we'll have a zero garbage hotel. All the stalwarts said it is not possible. Remember, friends, when somebody says your idea is going to fail, that means it's going to be successful. So you must take that, and those days the time was different. Today you are lucky to have such august gathering of people actually giving you guidance. This will help you throughout your life, and this has taken us a lot ahead of others. I think both the things have to be mandatory in your mind, not by government. It is. Yeah, we are the one who have been using the same. Water use is 4 times in our hotel right now also. And I decided, or rather, I told my son, within 30 years, that was in the year 90, I said within 35 years, there'll be war over water, not on oil. So today it's coming true. So I'm very happy. Please give them a very big hand. They are giving their time. They are all my friends. And I'm so sorry that today people like us, senior, are not required. We should be, no, just listen to me. We should be there listening to you and mixing with you. It's a synergy of old and new, which we have to take forward. I think I need to change 75% because I have 75% brilliant people here. So please, let's do it and see that we save the Mother Earth. Thank you. Yeah, I think you are invited to Jadavgarh. You must come and see.
Yes.
Something nice.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. May I request architect Ms. Anuja Sawant to felicitate Mr. Hemant Kharse.
CCI was his. CCI. Rotary was his.
Yeah. I request Secretary General Mr. Kunal Gujral to felicitate Mr. Sandeep Talaulikar. requesting Mr. Hemant Kharse to kindly felicitate Mr. Mihir Singhvi. Moving forward, Mr. Gurbir Bedi to kindly felicitate Mr. Rupesh Umtol. Mr. Sandeep Talaulikar to kindly felicitate Mr. Prem Thakur.
You can give vote of thanks.
So with this, we are. Let me just come down, or maybe I can switch on this.
Ladies and gentlemen, a vote of thanks, please.
Yes. So I think it was really a great event. I would say, just to put it as a formality, but I'm really excited and really privileged that this event went very well. So first of all, thank you HNRA for hosting this. Okay, so he said, okay, please go ahead.
Sorry for the...
Please go ahead.
Sorry, there's one more felicitation left. I request Mr. Kunal Gujral to felicitate Mr. Gurbir Bedi.
Good. So just to continue again, vote of thanks. So first of all, thank you goes to all the HNRA, Hotel and Restaurant Associations, very wide organization. But first of all, thank you to all the back-end team who had done a massive work. I remember we used to have con call and Zoom call so many times, getting into all integrity. So all first credit goes to all the HNRA team, and of course the mentor Sandeep ji, who is the focal point for this event. And of course, any event doesn't happen without a sponsorship. So first of all, thank you Hikvision as our event partner, entire Hikvision team here for being here and sponsoring this event. And of course, the Orient, right? Orient, who are fire curtains manufacturing company, they are here. Please make sure that you visit both of the stall out there. And then of course, we have Saint-Gobain. I don't know whether Saint-Gobain, we have anybody from Saint-Gobain. So they are also our partner. Without partner, this would have not happened. And of course, the venue, Orchid Hotel, Vittal Kamath sir is here. So we really thank you for hosting great event for here. At the same time, I will not forget to mention each one of you here who's here. During monsoon also, they have come here on time and really spent the half a day with us. So with this note, I really thank you everyone. And of course, thank you to all panelists, Prem Saab, Rupesh Bhai, Mihir Bhai, Bhavesh Bhai, and everyone who are here. So thank you so much, all the panelists, keynote speaker Anuja ma'am, for being here today and sharing your wisdom and knowledge. So Rajesh ji, thank you so much. So with this, we'll have a high tea now in the lobby, and let's enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. With this, we are ending this wonderful seminar. We would like you to enjoy the tea, coffee, and networking. Have a great evening. Thank you, everybody.
Executed more than 520 projects pan-India, totaling to about 4,800 curtains till date. Different types of applications of fire curtains. Basement car park compartmentation. Lift lobby compartmentation. Office compartmentation. Double barrel curtain with overlap for easy access. open kitchen compartmentation. Staircase escalator compartmentation with corner support. Staircase escalator compartmentation without corner support.